Cindy, your Calamity Girl. And I have a little bit of change of plans today. I planned on showing y'all how to make ghee. And well, that's not going to happen because I have to save my energy. And so, but I'll tell you what is going to happen. I'm going to make some homemade fries. That's right, homemade fries. And they're delicious. And you won't ever buy a bag of fries again, ever. So I'll wait around for you guys to come in before I start. Oh, Cian, hi, how are you, honey? Yeah. Well, I recently had a birthday, and so my husband is cooking my birthday meal. We'll see. It was supposed to be a couple months ago. Oh, thank you. It was supposed to be not a couple months ago. What am I saying? Was supposed to be a couple weeks ago. And well, a little calamity struck. Our son had to get his wisdom teeth taken out. He's 30. And he had to get his wisdom teeth taken out. And he had a little bit of a problem with it. He had uh, two dry sockets, and he was just like, and I said, you know what? I want you to enjoy my birthday dinner, and so we'll wait. And so now he thinks he can eat my his some ribs with me because that's what I wanted. I wanted ribs. So we making some ribs tonight. Well, husband is. Um, but I wanted some fries with them instead of a potato. Even the fries are a potato. You still there with me, Sam? It shows that I'm here by myself still, but that's okay if I am. Um, I can keep talking and I can talk. Um, oh my gosh. Well, I don't think she's here with me anyway. But oh, you are here. Okay, can you hit the like button if you can? Um, uh, does it bore you when I talk about MS? Um, because I had a horrible attack of it again. And this time I've been really, really battling fatigue. I mean, exhaustion fatigue to the point to where, um, and this is no joke, I was standing up. No, you're far from. Oh, thanks. Um, I was standing up on the, leaning against the counter, and then I just kind of did one of these things, just to rest my eyes. And oh, there's my son. Hi. Hi. um, uh, Next thing I know, there's a huge thud, and the thud was me. I fell down. I fell asleep standing up. It's happened before. So um, I decided that, okay, it's getting dangerous. I need to be a little bit more cautious. But here's the problem with MS fatigue is that no matter what you do, you can't get it in front of it. You cannot get in front of it. It first of all, MS it's a difficult disease. For me, at least for me, it is. Hi guys, uh, Mike and Trina. Hi guys. Um, it is. The older I'm getting, the worse it's getting. You know. and the fatigue. Okay, reel 'em in. Back to fatigue, Andy. Back to fatigue. Um, yeah, well, I fell asleep standing up, literally. If you get in front of it, you'll get run over. That's right. That's right. I will, and I do get in front of it all the time, and I do get ran over a lot. So I'm having to learn to budget myself. Hey, no sleepwalking. I'm guilty of that too. But there was no sleepwalking here. It was a big thud. And so I thought, okay, I need to get a handle on this. Uh, And it's so easy for folks to say, oh, just rest more. But the problem with that is when I rest and relax, my nerves fire off. And then next thing you know, I'm, jerking and herking and um, uh, whatever else rhymes with that. It's not a bad word. um, and it's painful and it causes me to I'll be sleeping. I'm sleeping. This is so wonderful. And then it doesn't stop it, for a good minute or so. And then of course you're wide awake. So what do? You have to get up and you got to walk it off. Okay. Well, then what it's like the chicken or the egg, which is first. And so as a result, there's a little story time. You guys want to hear a little story time? Okay. Before I get up and make my fries, because we're not making ghee today, we're making fries because I'm really tired and I can't do both. So this is what I don't have. It's embarrassing. I don't have very good cognitive skills, and I could be in the middle of a sentence and boom, it's gone. So, but story time. It's called the spoon story, and it's not just related to MS. It can go to anybody. Woo! I got some flyways going on here today. It's a good thing I always wear my hair kind of. Um, it's the spoon story. So I'm going to make it relate to MS, but it can relate to just about anything. Okay. Two women uh, meet for a late breakfast, and one woman is running late. She finally gets there. And she, oh gosh, she settled, gets her purse and she's thumbing through her purse and, she's just so, uh, that she can't find anything that she needs. And so then her day has just already started. Well, here's the backstory. The friend says, what's wrong? Duh. And so thank you for that like, Kenny, by the way. Um, she says, well, let me explain it. And so she gathers all the spoons on this table, okay? And so there were 5 spoons. And she says, okay, these 5 spoons, okay, you know what? I'll use these grannies, I'll use these granny squares. These 5 granny, hey, that's right, thumbs up. These 5 granny squares represent my energy level. And I only get 5 every 24 hours. And you can't save them up because if you don't use them, you lose them. Okay. So she says, so I have to budget it out. So I had to get the boys up and off to school this morning. There was there's a square gone. Then I had to get me ready just to get, you know, presentable and everything to be able to get to the um, this thing that we're calling fun. So that there is boom. I had to fight traffic to get here, and I'm stressed out, totally stressed out. And that's why I'm 20 minutes late. And in order just to calm down all of that, there goes the square. So now I'm down to two squares. Okay. It's only 10 o'clock in the morning, and I don't get another five, but after I go to bed to replenish myself. Okay. So this chicken monkey has to um, spare the squares wisely, you know? And so, does that make sense to you guys? Because I know that I repeat a lot. I can't remember things real well. A disaster. But does that make sense to you guys? Let me know. Yes. Do you think you could use that in your life? You're fine. Thank you. But do you think you could use that in your life for, for this, that, or whatever? Yes. Oh, always something. Hey, welcome. It's nice to meet you. I don't think that I've seen you before. If I have, forgive me. But I'm glad that that makes sense to you. So then you'll understand why. Okay, sidebar. Yes, I have ADD, if that is not obvious. Okay, my neighbor, he is kind of a young buck. I don't know, he's in his mid 30s. Well, he and his wife were expecting another baby. So I thought, oh, I'll crochet a baby blanket, okay? You know, what is it? 20, a 36 by 36, not hard, okay? So this is what I started with. And I said, you know what? That is, oh, wait, let's do this. I don't know if any of you are crochet people, but lots of mistakes. And then I find out that, oh, she crochets. Oh, she crochets. How good of a crocheter is she? She's really good, I guess. So then I thought, okay, I'm committed. I have to take my time. And so I'm taking my time, but what's happening is they're coming out fine. They're coming out great, but I can't tell you how many of them I've had to rip out because I do this, because I'm so exhausted. And um, so that's how um, MS has been kicking my butt lately, in addition to the pain. But I'll get into that on another day. Today, I just wanted to talk about um, uh, fatigue. Now, which side is the front? Well, okay. Um, I prefer to knit when it gets cold. Well, see, you know what? I prefer to do that when it gets cold too. But this lady, she didn't get to have a baby shower or anything like that. And so she didn't get anything. She's the second wife. And so she's um, happy to use all of the stuff from the other wife's babies. And she's so dang sweet. And so I decided, oh, I'll crochet or something. Okay. Well, this is how far I've gotten. Okay. So this is, I have to obviously, put it together, the rest of it together. But I haven't made a mistake on it yet so far, knock on the wood. Um, And so, but I cannot tell you how flippin' long it's taken me to make just 12 granny squares so that I can put them together. So, okay. Do you guys want to hear about what happened last night when I went on the police ride along here on YouTube? I went on a couple of them because I couldn't sleep, you know. One of them, holy Moses. Okay. So it's I don't know what his name is, but people call him AA. Go for it. I'm going for it. People call him AA. It's AXN News. Okay, the guy's really he's cool. And so there was a call that came in last night that uh that he had gone off radar. That a plane, it was a Cessna and it had gone off radar. And so that was like not good. And so finally they found the EOT and then the EOT. Did you know I used to be a flight attendant? I was. It wasn't in Indiana, I hope. No, it was in LA. Um, and but they found the the transponder. Um, and so that's, you know, what the beaker that goes off when, you know, and so they found that. And so they found this way up um, like in Hollywood Hills, up in that area. And so this guy knows LA better than anybody does. And so he cruises over there. And so he gets there pretty much before anybody. And, you know, there's no news vans or anything like that pulling up, is what I mean. And you guys, he got a shot of the tail of the plane, and it just, oh, it made my heart. I always thought it would be fun to be a flight attendant. Actually, it was. I had more fun that I couldn't believe they paid me to do it. Do you guys remember when the um, uh, plane went down in the Hudson solely? You know, um, I got to keep working on this, otherwise I'll never do it. When Sully, his plane went down in the Hudson, um, and this was, I don't know, good 10, 15 years ago. Yep. And well, I happened to I was flying that day, and it was an A320. It was an Airbus, and it was a 320. And yes, excellent story. Theirs are mine. Just kidding. Um, so everybody after that, immediately after that flight went down, right after they were real nervous, you know, and before nobody really pays attention to the flight attendant doing the demo unless they're like first time flyers. Um, and so I got to thinking about this, and a lot of people they were nervous after that. And so I got to thinking about it and thought, you know what? There's, but you're doing great in the retailing. Thank you. um, that's kind of funny. Uh, so I had some of those foam fingers, you know, the kind that you get at the sport games, you know, I'm number one, we're number one. Well, I had some of those, and so I decided to bring them with me, and because I could take them on trips, I could fold them, you know, I could shove them in my flight bag. They were really easy to deal with. They're kind of bulky at times, but you know what I wanted to do with them was fun. So whenever I would do the demo, I would go out with my big foam fingers. And I did it for a dual purpose. Number one, to get people to pay attention to the demo. And then number two, for people, not to be nervous. It's okay. This doesn't really happen frequently, but you should know what to do in case of an emergency. Like let's say for blind people, we would go and we would specially brief them. We would say, okay, you're in row 23, and there are 14 rows behind you for the exit behind you, and 17 rows in front of you for an exit in front of you, that kind of stuff. And we would make sure that they knew where they were. And, you know, and so that's why I did that. And then I got in trouble for it. See, we were merging at the time. I worked for Northwest at the time. And I was based in Minneapolis. And we were merging with Delta. Well, there was somebody riding on my plane um, from Delta, and they found that very unprofessional and not Delta Lena like. And so I got in trouble for doing that. And so I didn't never got fired or anything. Why did I quit or what happened? I didn't quit. I would have never quit. I loved that job. What happened to me was I got injured and I slipped on I can't remember if we were going to St. Louis, Missouri or Kansas City. It was one of the big places in Missouri. And catering had not um, not packaged the ice very well. Something was wrong, and it had fallen beneath the carts. Okay. Well, when um, we were taxiing, some started dripping out, and so sorry, I gotta go. No, no problem. You're not messing up my story because I'm going to continue to sell. Bye, Mike. Bye, Trina. See you later. Oh, look who came to visit. Mia, one of my cats that's in heat. My kitten. Poor little girl. She's a sweetheart. Um, and so a bunch of ice was coming out from the bottom of this, and we were in flight at the time. And so I was kicking it back under. And then I slipped on a piece. And well, anyway, I tore my ACL, NCL, and PCL, all of this in my left leg. And so we were in mid flight. And so we had to do an emergency landing. And then it was the last flight of the day, and people were pissed. And it just why can't we just continue on to St. Louis? And they didn't understand that you can't continue flying without a, m- a minimum crew. And that's the flight attendants in the back. Because the FAA, per 50 seats, they want a flight attendant in a jump seat. It doesn't matter if that flight is 50 seats are full or not. You can have four people somewhere in those 50 seats and has to have a flight attendant. And then for every 50 seats. So the bigger the plane, the more flight attendants. Yeah. So, and we always flew with minimum crew because they're pretty cheap. Airlines are pretty cheap. Um, and so we had to land because we only had 3 of us on board, um, who could safely evacuate a plane because I was at the point where I wouldn't be able to safely evacuate a plane. That's why they had to emergency land. So it was just kind of a bummer. But anyway, I ended up having 3 different surgeries, and then I ended up suing them, because one of my one of their workman's comp doctors said, um, because in the meantime, I was just diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Okay, that's a different story. I wanted to stay on this one, and so um, I ended up suing them, and I won the amount that the state of California would allow, out of court, which you would think would be a lot more than it was. And so, after my attorney's fees, his third, I'll tell you what it was. It was $242,000. And so, and my husband and I, because I was getting sicker and sicker and sicker, and so that's why we ended up moving here to Wyoming, was because of my health. Not knowing that it was the best state in the whole damn union, in our opinion. And so we moved here to Wyoming, and with that money, we bought our ranch. And we bought our ranch for 180, 180, 180, 500. And then about, what was it, 5 years later, then we bought the property next door to us, which came up for sale. And that was another 10 acres. So we bought that. And then, so we have 20 acres, and never been happier. Okay. So, um, French fries. Should I do that in a different video? I'm kind of thinking that I probably should because this one's like coming up on 30 minutes long. Maybe I should. And we'll just uh I'll put a title on here, story time or something. So let's say at in 45 minutes. I'd love for you to join me again because I will be making French fries, homemade, and I'll show you how to do it and what the trick is. It's a major, easy trick to it, but it's major. Okay, so I will see you in a little while, and I thank you for those of you who could stick it out with me at Calamity here. Okay, I'll see you in about 45 minutes.